Hello and good evening. I am Omudu Gajaga and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Thank you for joining us. And now we have a look at our main news headlines, business, international and other stories. Started arriving today ahead of tomorrow's presidential inauguration. The Independent Electoral Commission on Monday announced that the National Assembly elections for all constituencies will take place on Saturday, the 9th of April 2022. The Kerewan Area Council on Monday faced a select committee of the National Assembly to submit financial reports for legislative scrutiny. And also on Monday, the Basse Area Council appeared before the Committee of Local Government, who are facing a National Assembly Select Committee as part of an oversight on significant functions. In business news, ever wondered how one makes it from apprentice to driver to chef de garage? We went to find out. In international news, the coronavirus pandemic is generally perceived as having been bad for business. However, it seems this was the case for the world's 10th wealthiest men. Those were the main news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is QTV News. Heads of states from across Africa started arriving today ahead of tomorrow's presidential inauguration. Those who arrived or already arrived by the time of this broadcast are His Excellency Fort Nyasembe of the Republic of Congo and His Excellency Mohammed Ould Sheikh of the Republic of Mauritania and His Excellency Julius Maada Bio of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Omar Sissoko Mbalo of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, Nana Akufo-Addo of the Republic of Ghana. Expected tomorrow are His Excellency Macky Sall of the Republic of Senegal, Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria, that's the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and George Manower of the Republic of Liberia. Still on other news, the Independent Electoral Commission on Monday announced that the National Assembly elections for all constituencies in the Gambia will take place on Saturday, 9th April 2022. Omar P. Jallo has the rest of that story.
A press release from the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, reveals that candidates' nomination for the National Assembly elections will be conducted from the 5th to the 13th of March 2022 between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. at the respective regional offices across the country. The IEC also says nomination papers from the regional offices will be available from the 4th of February 2022. Election House also revealed that the campaign period for the election will start on the 17th of March and end on 7th April 2022. The IEC further announced the appointment of the following persons as returning officers in the various regional administrative areas: Suleiman Diouf Banjul, Joseph Koli Kanifing, Robert Anthony Seka Birkama, Issa Balne Kerewan, Lamin J. Jadama Mansakonko, Amadou Tal Janjambure, and Lamin Cham Basse. The IEC also wishes to inform the public that applications are invited from suitably qualified Gambians for the positions of Assistant Returning Officer, Presiding Officer, Assistant Presiding Officer, Polling Assistant, and Polling Officer in the upcoming National Assembly elections. Applications should be addressed to the IEC Chairman and submitted not later than Monday, 31st January 2022 at the respective regional offices. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
The Kerewan Area Council on Monday faced the Select Committee of the National Assembly to submit financial reports for legislative scrutiny. The audit report, among other things, highlights missing financial records for review, including deposit slips and payment not sufficiently supported, each amounting to nearly $1 million. Murulamin Choi reports.
The Kerewan Area Council of the North Bank region was the last to appear on Monday before the Select Committee on Regional Government and Lands. The Council's management, in a formal process of legislative scrutiny, witnessed the reading out of audit findings and queries by the Audit Director, Bakari Trawale. Kerewan Area Council's Finance Director, Abdullah Khan, responded on behalf of the Council.
Examination of payments revealed that vouchers amounting to 807 authoritative policies relating to recruitment is a violation of procedural arrangement and risks rendering such appointment invalid. There is a risk of making their consular recruitment which do not follow requisite checks and balances.
It's well noted, and management will take great care to make sure that all recruitments follow the laid-down procedures.
During the audit process, a performance review was conducted for Lumos in Farafenni and Ndungukebe as sampled sites. The Lumos are a source of large revenue collection for the council, given its potential to attract many buyers and sellers across the North Bank region. However, the audit found that none of the two Lumos had water supply.
At the Farafenni Lumo, the only toilet facility in place is not functional anymore. We had reports and evidence that people openly urinate and defecated in the closed environment of the market. We also observed that there were no designated dump sites at any of the Lumos. Piles of refuse could be seen all around.
Of safe and clean drinking water at the Lumo areas have been discussed with the UNDP on the COVID challenges at the Lumo, and a strong promise was given to council that boreholes will be dug at each Lumo site and to improve the toilet facilities at the Lumo. In fact, management is making all possible means to make sure that there is a quality sanitary condition and hygiene at all.
When next the council meets the select committee comes consideration when the select committee members will do further scrutiny to determine whether to approve the reports or not. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
The Basay Area Council on Monday appeared before the Committee of Local Government, who are facing a National Assembly Select Committee as part of an oversight on significant functions. During the sitting, it is revealed that Basay Area Council had spent 50% of the council's expenditure, amounting to $5.5 million on fuel, and that the contracts for the transactions failed to meet legal requirements. Modulamin Choi again.
The Basay Area Council appears before the Select Committee on Lands and Regional Government. The committee members received the 2019 management letter, which contains audit findings and GPPA compliance reports. Jenaba Jallo is an assistant training officer at the Gambia Public Procurement Authority. On the GPPA compliance report, Jallo informs the Select Committee that the council procured fuel amounting to more than $5.5 million from fuel suppliers without registering to the GPPA for the year ended 2019 as required by procurement laws.
The implications: the above fuel vendors are awarded a contract without framework contract agreement. Procurements may be individualized for personal gain since there is lack of proper control and supervision. Accountability and transparency are not ensured. Value for money cannot be ensured.
The Select Committee is also informed that 95% of various procurement methods of the Council, amounting to over $11 million of financial transactions, were carried out through a non-competitive procurement method of single source, all approved by the Council's accounting officer.
Using the above compliance-related variables for the period under review, Basay Area Council was found to be 60%, which denotes partially compliance with the Public Procurement Amendment Act 2018 and the Regulations 2019.
Concerning the GBPA compliance report, the Basay Area Council did not provide any response to the findings by officials of the Gambia Procurement Authority. Reading out the 2019 audit findings to the Select Committee, the Audit Director for Councils and Municipalities, Bakari Trawale, reveals that there was no internal audit function. Also points out the internal control risks the Council was exposed to due to the lack of internal control function. Usman Toure, the Chief Executive Officer of the Basay Area Council, responds.
The lack of internal audit function risks exposing the entity to misstatements resulting from weak internal control environment. There is also a risk of weak oversight by the governance function over management by the absence of the link between them and management.
But now, the internal audit is available and is functional, and as we speak, it is currently under internship at the National Audit, at the Internal Audit Department.
Among other matters contained in the management letter, show vacancies in key management positions such as departments for services and administration had not been set up and staffed with relevant personnel.
There is a risk that the vacancies will result in a weak management resulting in an administrative imbalance and inefficiency.
The vacancy of administration is not set up, but the management is working on it with the Ministry of Local Government to remedy the situation. Action to be taken.
To inform its decision at the consideration whether to approve or reject the reports. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Still in the news, Hope Through Clothes, a charitable foundation, that's a charitable organization based in Canada, through Khadija Foundation over the weekend presented a new borehole to Jeddah Women for Peace and Development in Brikama, Jeddah. Abibatu Sise, how's the rest of that story?
After years of hardship in accessing drinkable water, Jeddah Women for Peace and Development are delighted with the launch of a borehole project for the community, which is expected to ease the daily nightmare the community faces in accessing drinking water. Mohamed F. Jabi, the vice chairman of Khadija Foundation, explains why the borehole was constructed for this community.
This borehole we are inaugurating this evening is in memory of Brother Farid El-Hanafi through Hope Through Clothes Foundation in Canada. They thought it very fitting. It was since in 2016 we were having their application since then. But now when we did speak to the foundation in Canada, they contacted the family of Brother Farid El-Hanafi, and they thought it very fitting to have Zadaqatul Zaria for him, according to the community people, that they only got water maybe only 30 minutes in a day, and that will come in the night. 4 a.m. Whom do you ask or you expect to get up to go and get water at that time? You have seen it yourself. In fact, one sad thing that happened is that one of the community members here in Brikama was killed simply because he got up 4 a.m. to 5 p.m. to go and fetch water, and he was killed by criminals. So this water is more than a blessing for those families.
Bakari Mane, the deputy imam of the area, expressed delight for having a new borehole and commended the sponsors for bringing the life-changing project to the community. Binta Toure, the secretary of Jeddah Women for Peace and Development, highlights some of the challenges they were facing.
Pompo kasoro before 7 o'clock, for 6. Pompo kasoro wato le somanda wato wat.
The taps close before 7 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and we don't have water till at night or the next morning. Most people don't have a tap. Those who have them don't have running water. This borehole will help us always get water. So we are saying a big thanks to the sponsors. Only Allah will reward them. Alhaji Dudu Njai, a community leader, had this to say.
Allah knows that it sometimes takes up to 3 days without drinking water in my fridge because we don't even have enough water to do our chores. So we cannot store water. This is the problem. This borehole is a dream come true for us because with the availability of sunlight, we will have water 24 hours. So we are just grateful and praying for the sponsors.
Aminata Dabo, the president of Jeddah Women for Peace and Development, thanked Hope Through Clothes for the borehole and prayed for Allah's blessings for the departed soul on whose behalf the borehole was built. Khadija Foundation is a UK-registered charity in the Gambia, and Hope Through Clothes is a charitable organization based in Canada. In the past, both organizations have helped vulnerable groups in the Gambia, especially women and the needy, and supported mosques and madrasas to promote Islam. For QTV News, I am Abibatu Sise.
That report by Abibatu Sise takes us to a short commercial break, and when we return, we will still have some business, international, and sports news. Do stay tuned.
The fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
The GRA, in executing its mandate of collecting revenue for national development in a fair and transparent manner, will recognize and award compliant taxpayers who consistently pay and file their taxes on time and present original and authentic customs documents at the annual Taxpayers Award ceremony. This year's edition of the Taxpayers Award ceremony will take place on Saturday, January 29, 2022 at the Keraba Beach Hotel, commencing at 7:30 p.m. The event will be graced by the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Mr. Adama Barrow, the executive and members of the business community. The fourth edition of the GRA Taxpayer Award ceremony, a memorable night, is assured. GRA, collecting revenue for national development.
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is QTV News. The Gambia Association of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, GADO, champions sign language classes for families with deaf children. Jennifer Sonko visited the GADO office to engage parents and see now reports.
These are parents and their deaf children learning sign language to ensure they communicate with their families at home. The project is called Mom, Dad, Do You Hear Me?, implemented by the Gambia Association of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, funded by Respect for Change Belgium. The initiative targets deaf children aged 6 to 12 years. In developing countries, children with learning loss and deafness often do not receive schooling. Mariama Job, Momodu Ba, Aissatou Job, who are beneficiaries of the first batch of trainees, all expressed so much joy being able to effectively communicate with their children who previously they couldn't understand what they wanted.
We are very happy about this project. I am not educated, but with the help of this program, I am even able to learn certain things in English and sign them too. My family depends on me to communicate with my granddaughter because she understands me clearly now.
It brought a lot of improvement to him because at home we do communicate with him easily now, better than before. Though I don't used to stay with the kid that long, but it's like the little time that I spend with him, he has improved a lot. He has improved a lot because now we can send the boy to the shop and go buy some little stuff that the individual needs, or anything that the person told him to buy. You know, he is able to go to the shop and buy stuff like that.
Previously, I couldn't communicate with my grandchildren in any way. I couldn't understand anything they needed from me. But with the help of this program, I am able to understand my children's needs, and they are able to support me at home because I send them on errands, and they are able to execute it because I understand them now and they understand me now.
The WHO estimates that unaddressed hearing loss accounts for an annual global cost of $980 billion. This includes health sector costs, excluding the cost of hearing devices, cost of educational support, loss of productivity, and societal cost. 57% of these costs are attributed to low and middle income countries. The Mom, Dad, Do You Hear Me project has the potential to reduce this cost, as parents can contribute directly in training their deaf children at home, which will put less burden on school teachers and the purchase of extra learning materials to make them better understand things. If you have a deaf child or children or know a family that can benefit from this project, please contact 3518505. For QTV News, I am Jennifer Sonko.
Well, the end of that report takes us to business news. In business news, in the Gambia, many youth spend years in car garages as apprentices to learn to drive and to earn a living. Aminata Sise Jame visited some garages to find out the challenges and success stories of apprentices who would later become drivers and chef the garage. This is our story.
An apprentice is a person who is learning a trade from a skilled employer. Some of them can be found in a car garage or collecting fares from passengers. Drivers rely on them to look out for passengers to fill their vehicles. Thus, they play an important role in the commercial transport sector. Mustafa Sane, a taxi driver, shared his experience being an apprentice and driver, saying that it takes patience and determination to learn, get your own car and become a driver.
I was an apprentice for many years, and it was not an easy job. Now I have my own taxi, supporting myself and my family. Sometimes I engage in both roles as the driver and apprentice before I have my own taxi. I have also introduced my brother in the system.
Ibrahim Jallo, also an apprentice in Birkama Garage in Serekunda, pointed out that being an apprentice is a noble job and it has enhanced the lives of many families in the Gambia. Jallo seeks help from the government and the Gambia Transport Union to support them by establishing driving training programs and job opportunities as bus drivers.
There's no problem about it. So, sama boss.
I have faced a lot of challenges and difficulties with my boss and passengers, but I managed to continue to work harder. Facing challenges is normal in life, and it has immensely transformed my life and that of my family. I am now responsible for paying for my younger brother's school fees and other basic needs of my family. Sometimes, other drivers in the garage allow me to use their vehicle to join and pick up passengers.
Khalifa Keta, chef the garage of Birkama Garage in Serekunda, says being an apprentice has changed his life but takes courage and strength to make it to the next level. He added that when he was a driver, he had worked with many apprentices for many years and most of them now have their own vehicles.
Dawal na van, dawal na taxi. Bala man nek chef de garage.
I have been an apprentice for many years before I become a driver. After spending many years in the garage, I am now chef the garage. The garage provides opportunities for many young boys. Some of them are here without a vehicle to drive, but they assist some apprentices to load their vehicle and they are paid $10 for each vehicle loaded. At the end of the day, they can go home with some cash to support their families, which helps to mitigate or prevent them from stealing.
Wia Job, a driver at Bakau Garage, says he has been an apprentice for many years, working with his uncle.
Suma uncle Jara Soma. 8 years, moto.
My uncle taught me how to drive and I have been training with him as an apprentice for 8 years. Now I am a driver for 18 years and I have trained 15 apprentices. I am still working with many of them. I have gone with them to many regions, namely Basse, Frafenye, Bara and other regions, which has made positive impact in their career as apprentice.
According to the chef of the garage at Serekunda, all garages are open for any youth who wish to learn and how to drive. He said there is a great chance in the garage for young people, some of whom are the breadwinners of their families. He called on the government to support in building proper garage and road maintenance to mitigate road accidents. For QTV News, I am Aminata Sise.
Very interesting story, and it will take us to international news. The coronavirus pandemic is generally perceived as having been bad for business. However, it seems this was not the case for everyone. Oxfam Charity, a charity focused on combating global poverty, has revealed that the world's 10 richest men have doubled their wealth during the COVID-19. Meanwhile, poverty and inequality continues to increase. Loli M. Kamara reports.
Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates are among the world's richest men named in the report. Oxfam says these men have increased their fortune during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, while poverty and inequality continue to rise. Oxfam's study was released on Monday ahead of the World Economic Forum's Davos meeting, which ironically was held online due to the ongoing pandemic. The paper claims the 10 wealthiest men's fortune increased rapidly from $7 billion to $1.5 trillion and at a rate of around $1.3 billion per day. The report states over 160 million people are projected to have been pushed into poverty, while increasing economic, gender and racial inequalities, as well as the disparity that exists between countries, are tearing our world apart, quote ends. Oxfam based its findings on the Credit Suisse Global Wealth Report and the Forbes Billionaires list. The study uses the value of individuals' assets, which include property, land and corporate shares, minus debts to see out people's worth. Tech corporations such as Amazon, Google and Facebook saw a huge increase in profits as more people worked from home and did their shopping online. The paper's authors are calling for curbs on extreme wealth via progressive taxation, proven inequality-boosting measures, as well as a power shift in the economy and society. However, the reality of that happening seems far away. It is often quoted that the poor are always with us. Now, it seems we should add, and so will the rich. For QTV News, Lolly M. Camara.
The report by Lolly M. Camara takes us to sports news. In sports news, today's early Africa Cup of Nations matches, Senegal could only manage a 0-0 draw with Malawi, while Zimbabwe defeated Guinea by 2-1, and Senegal ended up topping the group with 5 points, with Guinea coming in second on 4 points, Malawi third, also on 4 points, and Zimbabwe fourth, that is at the bottom of the group. And we look forward to other matches also in the Africa Cup of Nations. But just before we end, here is a recap of our main news headlines. The Independent Electoral Commission on Monday announced that the National Assembly elections for all constituencies will take place on Saturday, the 9th of April 2022. The Kerewan Area Council on Monday faced a select committee of the National Assembly to submit financial reports for legislative scrutiny. Also on Monday, the Basse Area Council appeared before the Committee of Local Government, who are facing a National Assembly Select Committee as part of an oversight on significant functions. And in business news, ever wonder how one makes it from apprentice to driver to chef the garage? We went to find out. In international news, the coronavirus pandemic is generally perceived as having been barred for business. However, it seems this was not the case for the world's 10 wealthiest men. And that's it for QTV News. Thanks for watching and join us again at 10 for another news bulletin. Bye for now.